So I'm turning 50 next year. And there's a lot of things that I want to kind of get ironed out. I'm doing pretty good, but there's some things that I really want to kind of get in place and make sure that I am 10 toes down on it. So let's talk about I done made some notes because I want to make sure I got everything in order. So first up, what some things that I want to do to, make sure that I am doing right before I turn 50. And I'm not saying it got to be done like this. It could be done, in your 40s. It could be done in any age. But it's something that I just want to share with you. Maybe you can kind of resonate with, and you may want to pick and pull some things from here, if you like. This is something that I'm just trying to do. So first up, I wrote it down because I want to make sure I give it all to you. First up is, living intentional, like, making sure that I'm really staying in the moment. You guys know I've had my therapy sessions. I've been back and forth. Everything's going good so far. But just pretty much like living in the moment and not staying too far in the past and just kind of moving on up there and whatnot. That's what I'm trying to do, like stay ahead. Well, not too far in the future. We don't want to go too far in the future. We want to kind of stay right at a good point. We don't want to go too far because sometimes you get too far ahead, you miss out on what's going on right now. But I just want to not hoop and holler on the past and what I should have did right and what I should have, turned around. Hey, that was an experience. That was a lesson. I've learned from it. So now I'm gonna move forward. So this more living intentional and being present and not taking away those good moments for how can I say it? I'm getting stuck here. Again, trying to be off the cuff here. I don't want to just live, I don't want to take away the moments, if you will. I don't want to like not appreciate where I am and what I have for trying to get a moment on social media, if you will. I don't want to do that. I'm no, how they say everything is content. Everything is not content because then you don't have a life. And I've learned that from my vlogging experience. I've learned that. We're gonna get into that later, but not right now. Not right now. Not living on autopilot. I feel like, we get caught up in our routines, and you may relate. We get caught up in our routines of where we have to like, go to work, get up in the morning, get the kids ready, get yourself ready, fight the traffic. I don't want to be on autopilot. They sit and tell us work-life balance. I need to see work-life balance. I need to see it. I need to experience it. I need to have it. You know, if I'm working from home, fine, I'm working from home. That allows me to, maybe on my lunch break, I can have, that telehealth appointment over the computer. I need work-life balance. I need it. I mean, times have changed, and I really see how even though times have changed, people haven't changed. People don't want to let go of what was. They want what was to be what is. And I feel like, I don't want that. I don't want that. That's a different story, but I don't brought it up. So here we have it. If you can relate, let me know. Give me a rose down below so we'll know. Leave me a rose down below. So next up, I have here, to just really do what I want to do in this next chapter of my life. Not feeling like I have to hold back because I have so many responsibilities. I really just want to live my life. If I want to get up and go out to eat by myself, I'm gonna do it. I don't want to have to sit and say, "Oh, I can't go out to eat because one, I got to make sure, I got to take care of this and take care of that." No, I'm still deserving of my time. I'm still deserving of Kelly. Kelly needs time. All my time does not have to be revolved around everyone else. That could be friends, family, shoot, coworkers, whoever. My life doesn't have to revolve around that. And I'm coming to really realize that. And I have disappointed some people, and I'm going to be very transparent, disappoint people in my family to the point where it's like, oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going out to eat. Oh, can I go? No. Well, can you bring me something back? No. This is about me. How is it if and that's not being mean, and it's okay to be selfish. And it's not even being selfish. It's about making time for yourself because guess what? Everyone else can do it. Everyone else can do it. And that's what I mean about just, living your life. Now, if you got small ones, that's different. You know what I mean? But you got to kind of carve out how you're going to make that happen for yourself. It's okay to do things for yourself. I like to go on rooftops. I love a good rooftop moment. My family, some of them don't. They don't like eating outdoors. They don't like to be eating out and the dust and the elements might be on their food. But meanwhile, you're in a restaurant, people coughing, sneezing, ha ha ha, spit flying. It's the same thing to me. You got people in the cook, they probably done sneeze, coughed, whatever. You hate to believe it. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to think about it because you want to enjoy the moment. But these things happen. So if I want to go on a rooftop, like right now, I got tank top on. I live in the South. Okay. So I'm enjoying every bit of it. I don't went and pulled out a fall sundress. You hear me? A fall. Because at the end of the day, I want to enjoy my life. And I don't want to not enjoy my life because, oh, I can't go because X, Y, and Z. Being intentional. This is what I want. This is what I want. Now, if I go to a restaurant where it's indoor and I might want some company, then I'll bring you. But if no, I'm going to live my life. And I want to get as much rooftop in until I can't rooftop no more. Okay? I think I like that. For me, it's not about doing more. It's about doing what really matters. And what really matters is what makes me happy. Okay? So that's what I say about living and just being more intentional. That's something that I really want to make sure I'm checking off my box every chance I get. Now, yes, I am a caretaker. So at the end of the day, it's some things I probably won't be able to do because, I'm taken care of. I'm taken care of. But for the most part, I will do what Kelly wants to do and how she wants to do it. And I don't care. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And that's even when it comes down to friends. I mentioned family, and that can be extended family. If I don't want to, I don't have to. And I don't have to because it's family. Don't have to. I don't have to. That's called living your life the way you want to live your life. And then that's what it is. Because girl. Next up on my little my thing here or my notes. Making sure that my wellness and my health is where it needs to be for longevity. Making sure I'm walking, making sure I'm doing strength training. I mentioned that to you before. Picking other things that can help me with relaxation, yoga. I tried yoga before. Y'all, I laughed the whole time. I tried my best to hold it in, and it didn't make no difference. No, let me get it out. It didn't make no better that I had met someone in the class. It was her first time as well, and she just was giggly with me. But we wasn't disrupting the classroom, but we would give each other eyes and look at each other because I didn't know it was that much twisting and turning and bending and all of that, girl. But again, definitely relaxing. Definitely will have you um in and out. You know, Besides us laughing and giggling, we did get moments where we did zone out. It's like a moment where you're calm, you're thinking about a grocery list, you're thinking about that bill you forgot to pay. Did you turn the lights off? Did you unplug the iron? Whatever you think. Then before you know, it's like, whoop, and it's quiet. And you're thinking about nothing. Then back to the grocery list, back to the doctor's appointment, all different things. Yoga is definitely good with making you zone out. And what I've learned from yoga is every session you go to, every class you go to, the zone out gets longer. That's the whole purpose, is like pretty much detaching and focusing on the wellness of the inside. That's what I get from it. I liked it. Haven't been in a while, but again, that's why I'm telling you so we can kind of, well, not just you, but for me, get back into it. Not let myself go. Um, prioritizing movement, focus on my nutrition. Again, like I mentioned before, you know, starting this new job, I kind of like let myself go from April into, we'll say, May, June, July, August. Here we are. So for 4 months, I let myself go. A lot can happen in 4 months. I had went down to 155. And it looked good on me. I thought I was gonna look kind of like sickly and gonna have like all this, bonage stuff going on here, but it didn't look bad. Now I'm at 160. Do I want to get back to that 155, maybe even 150 to see how it looks? But I want to do 155, 150 with muscle. So toning my arms up a little bit more, not necessarily getting increase in my arms, but just feeling a little bit more stronger. Cause that will help me, overall. That will also help, if you're dealing with high blood pressure, if you're dealing with cholesterol, if you're dealing with any other like, diabetes, and though working out will definitely help with all of that. Definitely help. And nutrition. Um, Staying hydrated, eating whole foods. I have to get back into eating well. I've this last week I think I've been doing a good job at it. Again, I was so tired from working. I was just grabbing and going, y'all, grabbing and going. But I had to sit back and say, Kelly, what are you gonna do to do right? And even when you get in these gyms again, this ain't gonna be your last time of you getting into a gym or your last time, getting a promotion, where you might have to buckle down. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna make healthy meals? Are you gonna, have snacks in your bag? Are you gonna do those type of things? I have to. I have to, because if not, I'm gonna fall short. I'm gonna be through everybody's McDonald's line, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, whoever line. You know what I mean? Trying to get something. Or even if you feel like, oh, I'm gonna go to a Jamaican restaurant, and get like, or go to a soul food restaurant. They're not cooking how we cook at the house. They're using a heavy duty oil. They're using whatever they have to use. They have to preserve that food because they can cook a meal and hold it how we cook a meal and hold it. But it's different. If you, girl, it's still cooked food, but it's still fast food and it's still grab and go. Anything that we do at these restaurants, if it's not cooked in a home, it's definitely different. That's my experience. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm trying to limit my outdoor food. And if I do eat outdoor, I try to make sure that it's at a decent restaurant where it's not too bad. Now, let me tell you something. These last solo dates I've been going on, mm-mm. I've been trying to get like fish and salads and like, I love a good Brussels sprout. I don't know about you, but if I have to, like, one of my favorite restaurants to go to on a solo date is Ruth Chris because I love their Brussels sprouts and their sweet potato souffle, and I love their what is that thing called? Their crab cakes. So I'm always in Ruth Chris. Ever want to find me? Find me in Ruth Chris. And I'm there either I'm there by myself at the bar or I'm at a table by myself because I just really enjoy eating it. I really do enjoy eating it. If not, I do like Capital Grill. But again, you have to be very mindful. You can't go there all the time because it's still, you may be eating whole food like the Brussels sprouts. Sweet potato souffle got sugar, brown sugar for days. Ain't nothing healthy about that dish. Nothing. Them crab cakes, that's still on the fence, but I'm there. Okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. Those things I have to do better with. I have to do better. I can just get a piece of salmon, right? I guess. No, but I'm trying to do better in what I eat, and try to eat more whole foods. And if I'm gonna splurge and take myself out to eat, um, just try to get better options. And if I do get a option that's not that good, at least I know I've been eating good before and I will be eating good after, i.e., that sweet potato souffle. Next up on the list, y'all, sleep. I used to sleep like a rock. I don't talk a lot about menopause. I don't talk about perimenopause because it's what it is. There's a lot of people on this platform that got that topic held down. So we can all go over there and listen to them perimenopause and menopause stories. But baby, it's hit me. It has hit me. And it's disrupting my sleep. I'm to the point where the window is open, the AC is on, and that's defeating the purpose. And I got a fan in front of my face. It's only at night. During the day, I may get a little warm here and there, but for the most part, it's at night and I'm roasting. So I have to figure out a better way to combat my sleep. I will say, I do know when I was working out, I did not have that problem. It was something about doing intense workout, like me lifting weights and me doing cardio, like me spending maybe an hour and a half in the gym working out, not running my mouth, working out. I slept really good. Even if I did have a sweat at night, I was able to go back to sleep. It wouldn't disrupt me. So I know exercise would definitely help with having good sleep during these perimenopause, menopause phase. So I have to get that back in there. I have to. And also having regular checkups at the doctor. I feel like I know I'm a doctor goer, and I think I go I go so much because I know that I'm paying for it with my insurance, and I know before I was only going once a year, or when I needed to go if I had a cold or something was bothering me, then I would go. But my yearly physical was for sure. No, no, check me. My insurance is paying for it. I'm paying for it through my job. Check me. I'm very fortunate that I have some really good insurance to the point where I don't have a copay, especially when I go to my doctor. Now, if I have to go to a specialist, that's a different story. If I'm going to my doctor, and if I go to a doctor if I like that particular doctor, I will put that doctor on my insurance plan. If I go to that particular doctor, I want to pay a copay as well. But when I start switching doctors and going here, I want to get a second opinion, do all this, I have to pay. So I try to make sure I get I do my copays and I find my doctors and I like him or I like her. I get them locked in and then I don't have to pay anymore. Y'all, look into your insurance. Do what you have to do to make sure that you are using your insurance accordingly and use it to benefit you. Okay. So I make sure I do all my yearly checkups, and I also make sure I do all my preventive checkups. Check your breast. I had a hysterectomy, so I don't go for pap smears. I just go for a vaginal check to make sure everything is looking good, doing good down there. And I make sure I take that. I make sure I get that taken care of. Kelly, get your words out. And what else? I just make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If I know me, I can't take pills. So I mean I can, but I don't want to. I have to make sure I'm doing good. I have to make sure. And I want that for you as well. And if you are taking a pill, if it's a pressure pill, because we are up there in age, sometimes things are inevitable. Some things are passed down genetically. Some things are stress provoked. Some things are lifestyle provoked. We just never know. We just never know. But we can always combat that. And that's where, getting up there, it happens. And not just to women, it happens to men too. So don't let nobody tell you any different. Sometimes even worse are on that side because they don't want to go to the doctor. At least we want to go to the doctor. One thing about me, I am in that office. I don't play. I don't play. Next up, emotional habits. What are we doing? What am I doing to make things better? How can we do this together? Me, practicing gratitude on a daily basis, being thankful for what we have and where we are and being even here at this age because a lot of people don't even make it this far. You know, um a transparent moment. I've never met my grandmother. She passed away when my mom was 12 and she was around in her 40s. And here I am at 49. She was like in between either 42 or 44. I have to ask my mom again how old she was. And I know I can do the math by knowing my mom's age and knowing her age and stuff like that, but I ain't doing that right now. My brain ain't there. But some of us don't make it, and my grandmother, she passed of a heart attack. And here I am in my foot. I have heart issues too that I don't talk about here, but I do. And we have to be grateful and showing gratitude. You know, whew. You have to be grateful because you just never know where you will land. You don't know where we are in this lifespan that we have because we all have an expiration date. You know what I mean? And we can all help our bodies the best way we can. So that's where the doctor comes into play, our previous, bullet point. But talking about health, but moving forward into being grateful, I had a moment where I wanted more. And what I have now, I literally prayed for. You know, I was like, universe, guide me here, guide me there, asking my inner self to work with me, because if I don't do the work, it can't get done. It ain't gonna magically happen. I have to put the work in. So I was like, just talking to myself and making sure, I was in a good place to get what I have. And then you know what? Last week I'm talking about I want a bigger house. Material things. Yeah, I need a roof over my head. You know, I want a new work bag. I mean, something simple as a work bag. Like I carry a Longchamp. And I said, oh, I want a new work bag. Just a different color. Same damn bag, a different color. Being ungrateful for what I have, being able to even buy a bag like that. You know what I mean? It was like, Kelly, you're not being grateful right now. You are not being grateful. And I had to sit back and think, Kelly, you asked for this back in 2001. You got this house built. I was able to pick the flooring, pick the cabinetry, pick my paint on my wall, pick my handles on my kitchen doors. You know what I mean? And now I'm sitting here talking about I want more. I had to sit back. I had to sit back. And there's other people out here who don't even have. And I said, Kelly, I had to check myself. And that's how I know I am becoming her because I caught myself not being grateful. So I want to always practice gratitude and being grateful for what I have every day, because I worked hard for it. You know, meditating. I have been loving, I didn't even know nothing about it. I was calling it lo-fi. No, lo-fi, but it's called lo-fi. I don't know. I don't know if one of them is the right way. It's like music on YouTube, right? Where you can listen to music for like a 3 hour span. I have been doing that, using that music. If it's rain, if it's just some nice soft jazz music, like they have one called Black Girl Lofi, Lo-fi, I think it's called. Nah, whatever it's called. And I would like meditate to it, sit at my desk, and I only use it when I'm working. So I have my work desk is right here across from me, and I would turn on that on YouTube. We are allowed to listen to have YouTube on our work computers. So I will turn on the music on YouTube and I will listen to it while I'm working or while I'm meditating before I start my day, just getting into my day and just saying, Kelly, just saying what I'm grateful for and things like that. That has made such a big difference in my day, in my morning, because I didn't realize how much soothing music would help me even for my work. I'm gonna be honest, I would have on the jams while I'm working. I'm listening to Charlie Wilson. I'm getting it in Gap Band. We are getting it in the morning. We outstanding and everything all in the morning. But meanwhile, I say, Kelly, turn that crap off. It's not crap, but turn that off. Put on something nice, soothing for yourself. And it's been working out so good. It's been working out so far, so good. You guys know we like to surround ourselves around uplifting people. I have I have had the opportunity to pull myself around some uplifting people in my work area, in my day job. Is a woman on my job. She doesn't know I do this, but she doesn't know. She really, really inspires me and uplifts me. She's older than me, and I need that around me because it's good to have older around you. It's good to have younger around you, and it's good to have your age around you because you don't want to stick right here because then you don't know. You always want to know what the young ones are doing to keep going up because they know. And you want the older because they're where you're going. So I like to surround myself around uplifting people within all age groups. If that makes any sense. Let me know if you do that. Let me know if you do that. So yeah. And last but not least is just releasing that perfectionism. I went back and forth with things that I want to do in my professional life, in my personal life, even here on this channel. And I let perfection get in the way so bad that I felt like I had to be a certain way, look a certain way, or come up here a certain way just to be fulfilled. And that's not the case. That's not the case by any means. Okay. So here we are, just shooting the can't say that, right? Shooting the breeze. You know what I'm going to say. And having a good time. So let go of perfection, just be with ease. So yeah. So my next up is financial. I'm making sure my I'm making sure my finances are in order. And I think I mentioned that in a previous conversation that we had. Just making sure that my ducks are in a row, my pension, my 401, any RAs that I may have taken out, any high yield savings, and any investments that I'm doing. If it comes down to playing around with the stock market, I'm not aggressive in that area because I don't know much about it. I'm learning as I go, but I definitely want to do more in that area. And I want to share more with you. I want to I've been struggling with this newsletter, guys. I really want to get this newsletter on and out. But I'm struggling with, again, perfection, the layout. Why is the layout hindering me from putting out what I want to put out to you? So I have to let this perfectionism go. But I want to share some more finance with you guys. So, but for myself, I want to make sure my emergency fund is up to date, and I want to release some things that might be draining some of my funds, i.e. subscriptions. Everybody right now is like getting rid of all their Hulu, Disney Plus, and everything like that, rightfully so. But I don't have anything that I'm paying for that's really draining me. And what I am paying for is being covered from a different fund. So I don't really have anything personal that I'm pouring out into my daily that's draining me. But if I do, I have to be very mindful. But that one is for you. If you have a lot of things that you know that you don't need, get rid of it. Get rid of it because subscriptions can drain you. They can drain you because think about how you're paying $20 a month for this, $10 a month for that, $6 a month for this. All of that adds up. Oh, it ain't that much. It ain't that much. Look at it on the year end, how you add it up. It's a lot. That could be a trip somewhere. Okay. That could be a plane ticket. I think about the gym membership. Those 4 months I wasn't going to the gym, that added up. I paid $19 a month for my membership. That added up. I didn't go. That's free money out in the air for the gyms. We're not doing that. Let it go. Let it go. Think about things like downsize. That's what I should be doing. Downsizing. I got this house is accommodating for my lifestyle right now. Me having my family. This is a 5-bedroom house. A 5-bedroom house, and it's a lot of space. But I need the space so we can all have space. My other house was a one, two, it was 4 bedrooms, but it was a smaller 4 bedrooms, and it didn't allow the space that all of us needed to move around. We can all be in this house and not be in each other's space, if that makes any sense. We can just all just be here, and it's you can have your own space, and that's what I wanted. But as you get older, think about downsizing and also creating passive income. You know, I'm a I'm a I'm a big advocate about passive income. YouTube is a passive income. Um, TikTok is a passive income. My blog is a passive income. Passive income, something that you don't have to do every day, something you don't have to work on every day. My job is not a passive income. I have to exchange time for money. Point blank and point simple. Okay. And last but not least, things that I'm doing to create and fall into this next chapter that I'm falling into of like turning 50. Like I'm going into a whole new decade. That's nuts. Like, what am I doing? What am I going to do to um create this chapter? Vision boards are good. I haven't done a vision board since 2022 and 2021. And that was so empowering for me because I had my car up there. I had a white car. I wanted a Lexus. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. I wanted a Lexus, but I went to the dealership. The guy said I couldn't afford a Lexus, but meanwhile I'm running around here with a Benz. Crazy story. That's another day, another time for that story. Um, he didn't even want to do paperwork with me because he thought I couldn't afford it. He didn't even know if I could afford it. But he told me, this might not be a good deal for you. You might want to go somewhere else. And you know what? I did. But I didn't want to get the car to show him. I said, give me a new salesman. I didn't want to get the car to prove him. I just said, you know what? I'm going somewhere else. And I did. I went somewhere else. Yeah. But how we got on that story? I was talking about my vision boards. My vision board, I had a house, a white house, and I have a white house. My house was white before. My other house. I wanted a white house. I wanted a white car, and I got my white car. I wanted a gourmet kitchen where I had the stove in the wall, and I wanted back having a gas stove with uh, a griddle on top, and I got that. I wanted an island, and I wanted my sink in the middle of the island, and I got that. Everything that I put on my vision board, like detail, like not knowing how the actual house would look or what I could do in this house. I knew I wanted a loft. I got a loft. I knew I wanted my shower to be stand up, and I wanted a tub, a garden tub. I knew I wanted my own closet in my bathroom. I knew I wanted multiple closets around the house. That's something I wanted. Closets had to be everywhere because I knew I didn't want to do a storage center. I knew that I didn't want to put nothing in storage. And I knew I wanted a big garage in the event I had boxes and stuff. And everything that I have is in my house. I don't have any storage unit anywhere else. I don't have any of that. Yeah. So my vision board definitely worked for me, and I might do it again, but I might do it on a different level, more of a vision board on a health and wellness, um, financial, and just overall Kelly and how Kelly wants to show up in the world. Maybe even doing more um, exterior stuff. Maybe how I want to look as a woman, like how I want my wardrobe to look. Because I'm not really big on fashion. I like to just look nice and just look put together. I'm always big about showing my shoulders and my arms. I don't know why. I don't think I'm running around with muscles or anything like that. But I always like to wear tank tops. I don't know, in tube tops. I don't know what that's about. I always want to be like in warm weather. I don't know what that's about. Maybe in my next life, or maybe before I leave this earth, maybe I'll live on an island. I don't know. But I love warmth. I love warmth. I don't know. uh but so besides creating a vision board, I want to, have my self-care routines. And that's pretty much like, I'm not big on like morning routines because I'm an individual. I want to wake up easy. And I don't want to wake up easy knowing I got to do a 12-step skincare routine. I got to go run to the gym and do this. Then I got to come back and make an avocado toast. No, I just want to get up easy, brush my teeth, take my shower, wash my face. I'm doing my skincare anyway. you know, if I'm drinking tea, drinking coffee, making a smoothie, doing all of that. I'm not a workout person in the morning, so it's never gonna happen. Maybe when I stop working a job, maybe I'll work out in the morning, but I am a midday after work type of gal because it makes me sleep so much better. It makes me so much better. To those, just having my routine, however that may look, it's called self care. I'm not thinking about morning. I'm not thinking about night. I'm not thinking about afternoon. Um, I just want to make sure that my self care, however that may look, if I'm doing it in the afternoon, if I'm doing it in the morning, if I'm doing it in the evening, it's making me feel good. So that's how I want to look at my self care, however it may show up. I just want to be pouring into Kelly. Um, Learning how to invest more. You know, I want to invest more, not just in financial, but I want to invest more in my growth, and I want to learn more. I don't know if I mentioned to you, I thought about going back and getting my doctorate. I thought about going back to school. I may do it. I may do it. And I may do it. I'm using the rest of the year to decide if I want to do my doctorate. And I don't know if I do it, I will start in January, and I will let you guys know. I'll let you guys know. that I'm pursuing it. It will take me about 3 to 4 years for what I'm going for. And my friend, he mentioned to me, Kelly, I'm all for education. He said, but what is your return on investment? We both have masters. And he said, if you go get this doctorate degree, how are you going to use it? You're using your masters now. He said, how are you going to use your doctorate? Because that's not a cheap go. You can go get scholarships, you can go get everything that you want to get, but how are you going to use it at the end? If it's a personal accomplishment, then oh well, whatever. And I said, well, you know what? Maybe I can, it could be used in other ways. Maybe I can mentor. Maybe I can, I don't know. Maybe I can, I don't know. I said, but I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about just educating myself. He was like, you know what? You go ahead. You go ahead. But something I want to do, I want to invest in my growth, not just, you know, education wise, but also mentally, physically, all of that. I just want to invest in myself. I want to be the best woman that I can actually be, not just for myself, but for my daughters, for my mother, and just me as a woman in the community. Here showing up even here on this good space, just being the best woman that I can be. And I want that for you too as well. And I hope I can inspire you. That's what this is for. Not just me, you know, pouring into myself. I want to pour into you too. And I want you to do the same for me. So make sure you in the comments, because I learn from you as well. I meet so many of you and we talk and we chat. I want to bring back something that I did years ago. I did I don't want to say a meet and greet, but it's like a girls' night out. And it was at a winery. And I invited 20 women out. And I had all these charcuterie boards and different things like that. And we had like 40 bottles of wine. I paid for 40 bottles of wine. I took about maybe 10 home. No, 20 bottles. It was 20 bottles. I'm exaggerating. I'm trying to think now. So it was 20 bottles. I took about 5 home because they were drinking. Well, no, maybe it was 40 bottles. It was 20 women. And they were drinking. You think about 20 women, 40 bottles, yeah. So it's like a bottle per person, 4 glasses of wine. Nevertheless, we had a good time. And I want to do that again. But again, I'm trying to think, how would I do it? Do I want to do it like here in North Carolina? Would you even be open to that? For those of you ladies who are in North Carolina, we will start here first for sure in North Carolina. Would you even be open to that? You know, will we do it, say, in our neighboring state, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, we would take it up to my home state, New York. Like, would you guys be even open to that? I would love to do that. 20 women having a good time, drinking wine, eating charcuterie, talking junk, just sharing, learning from each other. It can be so in depth from us just talking about women stuff, where we are, where we want to go. You may know of a networking system for another woman to get a job. You may want to learn about YouTube. Maybe I can share some things. You may want to meet other women, how to make a plan to work out. I mean, just the the topics are unlimited. Let me know if that's something that you will be interested in. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I like that. I like that. And also, I want to celebrate my wins. I don't do that enough. I don't. I want to really, really start celebrating my wins and what I'm doing at the end of the year. And I'm going away next month. That's a part of celebrating my wins too, like doing things for myself, pouring into myself, and not being afraid to do that, and not saying, oh, I don't have it. If we want to go buy that dress or go buy that pocketbook or buy that lipstick or buy that bag, celebrate your wins. I understand you can buy the bag as a celebration gift. I get it. But no, go big. Celebrate yourself. Like really, really, really celebrate yourself. You know? Mm. I'm all about experiences. I'm all about experience. That's where I am right now. I really want to just take these last few months of 2025 as like a roadmap to what's to come. Will we have some hiccups? Absolutely. Life is always going to throw us a curveball. But what we going to do about it? We're just going to, shift and turn. That's what we're going to do. Shift and turn. But I'm excited about this new journey and stepping into this new chapter. I'm just not going to hold back on anything. And I don't want you to do any, I don't want you to hold back either. I don't want you to hold back either. So we're going to wrap it up there. I hope you enjoyed, y'all. I just want to run my mouth. I hope you want to sit and listen and run your mouth with me. I hope you get in them comments. I hope you subscribe. Tell a friend, tell your friend to come on over, hang out with your girl Kelly for us. We over here having a good time. We over here having a good time. So, in saying all of that, I'll catch you in the next conversation. Okay? Bye.